Hey guys, welcome to the lesson on tracking your progress. We are going to go over how to track your progress when you're working on your goal and monthly goals and mini actions. And this is step 13 in the goal setting process. So first and foremost, this is only relevant after you get to work on your goals. After you have done all the planning, then it's time to get to work and get started. And as soon as you start is as soon as you need to track the results that you're getting. And I want you to do this by tracking specifically what you're producing. If you're using the 1 to 3 action item list every day, then you should track your progress every night by what you've actually produced. You can also use Dream Year workbooks or Evernote or a notepad or something else for this. I don't want to overwhelm you with the options, but there really is no right way. I can tell you for me, what I used to do a lot I would have like a notebook. Like you could use the notebook that came with this. You could print it out and just have it kind of in a folder or binder by your bed or something like that if you like physical paper. And I just put like a date at the top and I just write like the 3 things that I accomplished for that day. And then like underneath that the next day, or like the date and then a dash. And it's just so you can kind of keep track, not necessarily as like bookkeeping, but more so that you can say, oh yeah, I did produce this. I did do this. And it's like a reminder that you're working towards something. And you know what? There are days when stuff hits the fan, you know what I'm saying? And you just write down, today sucked. I did nothing. But almost every other day, you're going to write down all the awesome stuff that you did. And literally, it can be as simple as that one sentence in a notebook. But there are a lot more tools in Dream Year if you use those workbooks for you to actually track what you've done. Now, what I was just talking about was tracking the actual actions that you've done during a day, but I also want you to track your bigger accomplishments. So whenever you have an accomplishment, I really want you to write it down, and this would be an accomplishment towards your goal. So it's very easy to get distracted with all kinds of things in life. I know this, you know this, but I specifically want you to pay attention to the accomplishments that you have for working towards your goals. And it could be any size. I don't want you to think that this only means, when you have really, really big wins, but you will feel it in your heart. Whatever you think is a win. It could be, I finally published that one blog post that I have had resistance about for starting and putting myself out there in the world. Like that's an accomplishment. So my point is whatever is an accomplishment to you doesn't have to be an accomplishment to anyone else. Anything that you're super excited about, I want you to make sure you write down and date it. Next up, I want you to track your failures. This is really, really important. On an ongoing basis, you need to do this. So I take the Ramit Sethi idea of tracking 3 failures every month, and I want you to put this in a note as well. It can be in the same note where you're tracking your other stuff, or it can be separately if you want like a failures file or note in Evernote or note in your notebook. But I want you to make sure that when you do this, it's failures from putting yourself out there and not failure from not doing something. So, it's like I always think of like the dating example, like of the guy asking a girl out and she kind of says like, yeah, no, like, maybe another time or something. Like that would be like a failure for him. In terms of what I'm saying to track. Like he put himself out there, it didn't work out the way he wanted to, but that's 1 down. What would not count is him saying, I want to ask this girl out, and then he thinks about it and he just decides not to try at all because he thinks she'll say no. That does not count. So the difference is that you're actually putting yourself out there and going for it, but it just didn't work out the way that you wanted. So I want you to have at least 3 of those. There's a special place in Dream Year for this, but you can also just use a notebook too. And the point of this is for you to stop thinking about failure as meaning that you're a failure. It's for you to start thinking about failure as like do-overs and start thinking of, oh, I just got a failure. Now I can add that to my file. So really put a constraint in your life that you have to try and get 3 failures every single month. Because the more that you put yourself out there and try, the more results you'll get in your life. But you have to be totally aware that a lot of them are going to be failures if you're really putting yourself out there to the level that you need to be to get the kind of results you want in your life. And I have a note down here. I don't even like the word failure. I honestly, just in my mind, I've like never failed at anything, but I fail all the time. So I know that's not true. I just don't like the word fail. So I'll tell you a quick story. When I took the CFP exam for the first time, and this is like after I had been a lawyer and I transitioned to be a financial planner, and I passed the bar the first time. I did not pass the CFP exam the first time, and I remember logging in to see, and it said like fail. And I just remember feeling so mad that that word was there. Like it should just say like try again. Like in my mind, like I don't know what it is, but I just can't conceptualize like I don't think anything I've done has been a failure. I just think I have to do it over. So I really, really want you to get to that place because it's beautiful. And you just basically, there is no, oh, if this doesn't work out or, oh, if I fail, it's just you deal with it then and then you create a new plan. It's a really good place to be in for accomplishing your goals. You need to set up a system like a habit I have here to track your progress on a regular basis. So this is what I was talking about with either using Dreamier or the notebooks included in here or just a notebook that you have or Evernote, whatever it is, but it has to become a habit. So I would really suggest at night, like make it easy. Maybe just start with like, okay, every night I'm going to just open up Evernote if you prefer digital or open up the whatever like hard copy notebook, or if you printed the notebooks from this course, have that by your bed. And then just every night you're just going to write like out, either your one failure or your one accomplishment or whatever. Just it has to become a habit or else it's just going to be really, really hard for you to stick to this. And the more that you have your goals in front of you and you're tracking it, the more likely that you'll be to succeed and see the results that you want. I like to do the tracking nightly, just like quickly and not really think about it and just kind of like jot down what I did or, mark off anything that I accomplished. And then I use Sunday nights for like reviewing my bigger accomplishments and overall progress. The more you examine your goals and practice this type of work and really focus on them, the more likely you're going to succeed. It's just what you focus on expands. It's like you just go in that direction and you get the results just by putting your focus and attention on it. So the next section after this lesson is about reflecting and evaluating. So I just want to make a distinction here that we're talking about tracking. And tracking is simply just documenting what's happened. It's writing down the facts, the circumstances. I don't want you to spend a ton of time here in the tracking section, like reviewing and evaluating, because it's going to get too burdensome. You have a lot going on in your lives and your goals are important to you, but you also have to balance that with your day-to-day life. So I just want you to just make a quick note and track, make a sentence at night, what you accomplished, what you produced. Just remember, you're always thinking about what you produced and you don't have to worry about reflecting or evaluating, which would be like adding adding thoughts to those facts and circumstances. So think of this like tracking your monthly budget. If you have a monthly budget, you know that you're gonna probably look at your money every day, but you aren't going to like sit there and add in all your expenses manually every day. You're gonna update your budget maybe every week or every month. So that's kind of like the same thing I want you to think about with your goals. You might look at your goals every day or jot down your accomplishment or failure, but you're not gonna like review or evaluate it. The more you review your goals and have them in front of you, the more you reconnect with your why, the better. It's going to keep you focused and motivated. So if you feel yourself falling, whatever, like not focusing on this stuff, just find a way to get your goals in front of you. Put that note in Evernote, put it on a note card in your purse, like just whatever you can do to get your goals in front of you, the better. It really works. Tracking the results you have in your life is going to help you stay focused, and it will really, really keep you connected with your goals. It's kind of like, it's that analogy to the plant again. You have the plant, which is, your dream life, and you have to pluck all the weeds, pull all the weeds out from around it that come all day long, and have the plant at the end of the night. So make sure that you're keeping, your plant, your dream life as the focus, and tracking is part of that because it forces you to keep it in front of you. And the more you can make this a habit, the easier it will be and the less resistance you'll have, and the more likely you will be to succeed. Okay, I will see you in the next lesson.